Okay, class, we're going to work on a Photobash assignment. Buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be awesome. So, Photobash, check out in the assignment description an explanation on what photobashing is, if you haven't already done so. What we're doing is taking a bunch of photos, bashing them together to make a whole new world. Okay? We're going to take a lot of photos, put them together, Photoshop them up, and splice up a brand new concoction. Alright, so what we're going to do is start with creating a new document. I'm going to hit Create New. And I'm going to select what size I want this thing to be. I want something kind of cinematic, you know? I want something kind of cinematic. So like, if I go to film and video, there's some good sizes here and whatnot. But I think I'm going to just choose my own, which is going to be, we'll say, 15 inches wide by like maybe 8 inches high. Let's see what that looks like. Create. I just hit the create button. Let's back it up a little bit. So I don't like this layout here, the way this is, this stuff. So I'm going to go up to Window, and I'm going to choose a different workspace. Okay, so maybe I'll try painting. And what that's going to do is change around all this stuff. Okay, see how that already, I feel less claustrophobic already. So if you don't like your workspace, you can rearrange your workspace, you can save it, and or choose from these different pre-made ones. Okay, so I like that shape. I like that shape. I think I do. Yeah, I do. Alright, so I'm going to start with a Photobash. So what I'm going to do, you can use your own images. You can use images off the internet, and you can use whatever you want. So I'm going to bring up the interweb here, and I'm going to drag over a little Google page for you. Let me see. So you're seeing that. Okay, so I'm going to start with images because I'm on Google. You might be a Bing person, I don't know. But I'm going to go get images in this way. I think what I want to chop up is like my concept. I think I want to do an exterior landscape scene and probably some sort of futuristic motorcycle. In fact, I think it's going to be a hover bike. I just thought of this before we started filming this, and I was thinking, you know what? A hover bike would be sweet. So I'm going to choose like a new street. I'm going to choose a street bike is basically what I'm trying to say. So I happen to know a little bit about motorcycles, so I'm going to choose like a Suzuki GSX-R, which is the name of a motorcycle. Okay, so basically I'll go through here and pick what I want. Now, I got to decide, am I going to do like a side view of it, a back view of it? Is that going to fit within my environment choice? So maybe I'll create my environment choice first so that I can see what kind of perspective I want on this bike. However, a side view is much easier. A side view is much easier. So let's see, 2019, or actually 2018, I'll probably get more photos. So that's the year of the bike. Okay, so I'm cruising along here. Let's choose GSX-R Racing. If I choose Racing, I think I'll have, it'll be more sleek. Because it doesn't have like blinkers and stuff. So for fun, I'm going to choose one that just really grabs my attention. And a side view would be great, just like I was saying earlier. And again, you don't want to overthink this. And a white background would be really choice, because that would make it really easy to cut everything out. But sometimes you can't always get that. Let's go with this one right here. I guess I'm not super excited about it. Dang, this is harder than I thought. Okay, let's not overthink this. Okay, where's that one I was just saying we were gonna get? So let's choose this one. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna click this one. Sorry, I clicked on the image. I'm gonna right click on this. I'm gonna hit copy image. I'm gonna minimize the internet, and I'm gonna go edit, paste. Now my motorcycle will be pasted in here. Now I do see a problem. It pastes it really small, so this may not be like a high enough resolution image for me to want to mess with a lot. And what I just did was I grabbed the move tool, and since I have show transform controls, it's going to give me this box, and I can just grab these handles and move it up or down. That resolution should be fine. Okay, so I got some sort of street bike in there, but I think, like I said before, I should get a landscape in there. I should get a background going on in there. So this is going to be a hover bike, so I'm going to see, right off the bat, I'm just thinking desert scene. A desert scene is what I'm thinking. Let's go up to Google. If you hit tools on this Google page, you can go to size and pick large ones. So I'm going to do desert. Now I have majestic desert scenes. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with something really cool. Some sort of desert scene, maybe like this right here. Yeah, I like that. Right click, copy image. Minimize internet. Click on the canvas once. I can hit Control V, which is also the same as going to edit, paste. And what it's done is it's pasted it in here. I'm going to stretch out this image. And I'm going to stretch out the bottom of the image. I don't care if it distorts because nobody's really going to know, because it's not like a perfect circle or anything that's noticeable. And of course, since this is Mike Morgan working on this, this is going to be the future. This is going to be like we're going to have other planets and stuff in here. It's kind of my thing. All right, so what we have here are my layers. I just opened up my layers right here. Boom, boom. If you don't see this here, you can go to Window, Layers, and pow, your layers will pop up. So I don't like just having layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. I like to have what it says. So I'm going to double click on the title and hit desert, and then I'm going to call this Moto. Well, we'll just call it Moto, which is short for motorcycle. So as you can see, if I make the eye disappear on this, I can see my motorcycle is in the background. So let's move it up. Now it's in the foreground. Okay, so we're going to have to cut all that out, all that whiteness. But that's cool. We'll show you how to do that. So, what else do we need to make this jazzy place a reality? So already I'm seeing, I really don't think this motorcycle would be a great one. I think kind of like maybe a 3/4 view. So let's go back to the intranet. And let's go back, let's try race bike. Let's try race and see if I can find like a 3/4 view version that would be just epic. Maybe a rider on it, huh? Like a rider on it? How cool would that be? Let's go back and look at our desert. So, what if he, let's get you out of the way. What if he was like coming, well, I guess you can't see my finger, can you? Well, what if he was coming like around here, like he was just zooming around here somewhere? So maybe I'll pick something that I think will have the proper perspective for such a scenario. So this may take a minute. Don't trip. Oh, I love that, where the dude's like, he could be walking towards his machine. That's pretty rad. We'll see if we can put this to use. I think that's pretty cool. That's a BMW race bike. For the fancy pants racers. Alright, so I just right clicked, I hit copy, I can go to edit, and I can go to paste. And that'll put Mr. BMW Man right up in the business. And how big do I want it? Maybe something like that. The other thing you want to take a look at is like the shadows and the light. If you can pick some that are similar, so you see how his shadows are coming towards us and these shadows on the sand dunes are coming towards us, that also makes it a little more believable too. Or actually I should say a lot more believable. So I have a one bike that I really like. I have this that I really enjoy. So I'm gonna call this Moto and Guy. So that's a motorcycle and a guy. Now this one, I'm going to delete it because I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to select it by clicking on here, on this area of the layer. And I'm going to go to trash and trash it. So I just deleted that layer. Okay, so another thing, when I met up with some of the students last week, is somebody had this checked, auto select. So what that does is if you check it, it'll click on the image that you're talking about, and so that'll change what, look at my layers here, that'll change what layer is selected. So you may want that or you may not want that. So if it's doing that weird thing, just take a look up here. Is auto select checked? And they're talking about automatically selecting a layer. I like it undone, unchecked. So let's go. Let's real quick start cutting out some of this. I'm gonna enlarge this by grabbing the move tool and taking this eraser. Or I'm not going to start with the eraser. I'm going to start with just a straight up selection tool. So if I wanted to erase all this action, I can come up real tight on this, and I can take our fancy tool here called the Polygonal Lasso tool. Polygonal Lasso tool. And one of the great students that met with us last week in the real life tutoring session asked about cutting out somebody's shoulder, and it was kind of shaped like that. And I wanted to say, or I told her that it's great to use this straight line lasso tool for this, even though it's round, because you can do just little clicks at a time and get around a curved surface very easy, and it looks very nice. Because if you zoom in, nobody's going to know it's a bunch of straight lines because you're going to cut it out so well. And so I completed this shape. Now if I hit delete, that part of the selection will disappear. Okay? I can hit Control D to get rid of these marching ants. Or I can go to Select and hit Deselect, which is right here. Okay, so we're going to cut out this whole section here. Now another thing you can use is how would I go about doing that though? Let's see. We can. I want to show. Let's see if I can make this not too confusing. I'm going to grab the elliptical marquee tool, which is like another selection tool, and I'm going to drag out like a circle that's similar to the one I'm looking at now. If I get it to about the size I want and I hit the space bar, I can move the whole thing around. If I let go of the space bar, I'm going back to, I'm holding my left button on my mouse right now, by the way. So you can maybe cut out some of it using this feature. So maybe I want to get it like on this line here, and I see right here that would be a good place to cut out. But I don't want to cut out the inside. I'm going to take my eraser, click, and my eraser's way too large right now. So I'm going to right click. This feature will come up, and I'm going to make my size come down to like that. Okay? So if I click in here though, it's only going to erase what's on the interior, which I do not want. I want it to erase the exterior. So I can go to Select and inverse the selection, which means now it's only erasing this area on the outside. I'm not talking to you, Siri. So deselect, and you see that? That's cut that out. Let's make this not as confusing and just temporarily put a layer back there. So let me show you. This helps a lot. Create a new layer right here. Create a new layer. I'm going to take the paint bucket tool and pick a bright color such as whatever color this is. And I'm going to paint my whole thing this blue color. Now this is one layer, a whole new layer, and I'm going to drag it behind Moto and Guy. So now when I erase stuff, I'm going to very easily be able to see that. And then when I'm done erasing things and cutting things out and I don't want that, I can just minimize it, or not minimize it, but make it invisible by clicking this. So that helps you get through a lot of the selection part. Okay, so let's try this bottom of this tire here. My goal is to get the bottom of this tire. Alright, I'm going to hit the bottom here. Now I want my eraser tool to not be... Oh, look at that. What happened? Let's back up a bit. I have the wrong layer selected and I tried to use my eraser on it. You got to pay attention to what layer you're on. So I'm talking about editing Moto and Guy layer. So I got it. Now when I go like this, it'll work. Okay. Undo. Select inverse, just like we talked about a second ago. Okay, I don't like how soft that is, so I'm going to do hard, all the way hard. Now see that eraser is very hard. Go right there, get rid of all this junk. Alright, I see a little bit of my dirt is still showing on that tire right there, which I don't like, so I can come back here. Oops, I keep forgetting to select inverse, and then I can paint on the outside of it. Alright. Okay, so you got your front tire cut out, and now we want to cut out some even more of this jargon. The only reason why I wanted to show you how to cut out a tire is because I want to show you there's a couple different ways than using what you would think to use, which is like this lasso tool. Okay, and you're thinking, oh, I'll just cut out the tire like that. Well, that's really hard because I can't. I mean, I've been drawing my whole life, and I can't draw a perfect circle with this thing. Okay, so keep in mind, I know that looks like a better tool to use, but it's probably the worst one. Use this one, which is the elliptical marquee tool, and use this one, which is the polygon lasso tool. Okay, I think I made my point. Now, after all that, I'm not even using this tire, so let's get rid of it. So I'm going to take, since I'm building a hover bike and it needs to hover, it needs to have no wheels. So I don't know if you've been to the future or not and noticed, but nothing in the future has wheels. I didn't make up the rules. It's just the way it is. Nothing in the future seems to have wheels. So I just took my lasso tool, and it's the straight one, polygonal lasso tool, and I'm going to do this shape right here, this whole like region. And do you see that little circle right there? That means you are about to complete the circuit. Click. Now I got my marching ants. Okay, and I'm going to hit delete. And boom, it deleted. Okay. Perfect. That's already looking hover bikey. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, I switched something I didn't want to. Okay, so let's cut this out real quick. Let's cut out some more. I think we're on a roll here. I know this seems a little slow, but all I'm going to do is cut out this bike here. And this is a demo. I'm demonstrating how to go about some of these things. Now, the techniques are always the same. The subject matter will change. So I know you may be cutting out a flower. You may be cutting out some other object. You may hate street bikes. That doesn't matter. The point is you're learning the techniques so that you can do your thing. Photobash assignment. So we're going to take a bunch of photos, bash them all together, and make a new world. If you have a business and you want to make something photobashed for your business, go ahead. If you just want to build your portfolio, do something for your portfolio, go ahead. If you want to do something for practice, just practice. That's what this is, okay? So do whatever's most logical for your life. So for my life, this might be something that I want to put on my website or something. And I practice all the time and work on jobs I don't get paid for, because that's how you learn how to do different things. And then after you learn how to do it, then you can charge for it. But you also want to practice just to stay sharp. Okay? If you step away from these programs for any amount of time, you lose your memory. Okay? So before I go too far, I'm going to close this shape up and delete where I'm at. Delete the selection progress I have, which is where I started right here. See that? A little circle popped up, left click, boom. Now I got the marching ants. I'm going to hit delete. Okay, we're looking good there, tigers. We're looking good. Now, luckily, I don't really need any of this stuff. However, I might use that pipe. I might use that pipe somehow. Although I have a better idea. For what? I want to use a jet turbine engine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take, I probably should have done this before in case I wanted to use parts that I'm going to cut off, such as brakes and stuff, but, well, maybe I can just paste again. What happens if I paste? What is it going to paste? Yeah, okay, so I have a spare here. So if I want to pull parts off of this unedited image, I can. I'm gonna save that in my piggy bank over here. This will be my piggy bank right here. And it's not visible. It's not visible right here. So now we're gonna proceed onward. And I think I'm gonna take a path of righteousness right through, should I cut this up? I know I want to start here, but I just kind of visually with my mind am cutting it out of where I'm going to go before I go. Let's do this number. Oh, no. Let's kill it here. Okay, so I'm going to cut in this way. And should I keep that piece? Keep this piece. If you have no idea where I'm going with this is very confusing, but you could skip forward and look to see where this is heading. And that might even help too, if you're like super confused about what's going on. I may use this, but I may cut it off later. Who knows? Okay, boom, 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 boom. I'm clicking back to where I'm going to complete a shape. Boom, I completed that shape. Now I'm going to hit delete. Did it all with the polygonal lasso tool. I'm going to hit Control D, which is the same as going to select, deselect. Now my marching ants disappeared. Oh my gosh, we're starting to get a hover looking bike. Let's just crudely cut this dude out. Let's keep his shadow too in case we need that for reference. Okay. Control C, Control V. But what happened when I did that? It just made a copy, a layer, right here. See the man? It's just a man. In fact, we're just going to call him man. Okay, and this is not going to be moto and guy anymore because I want the guy gone. So it's just going to be the motorbike, and I'll make it just the motorbike by taking this lasso tool and drawing a circle around it. And if I hit delete, it's going to erase the bike, which I don't want. I want to hit select inverse and then hit delete. And now my background, now we're dealing with some action here. Okay. So I got my dude, I got my bike, and let's see what else we can get going. So if I make this blue color disappear, I can see what we're dealing with here. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with here. So let's get some planets up in the sky and maybe change up the sky a bit. So planets. Let's go steal some planets off the internet. Moon, planet. Maybe some cool stuff will come up. And we're gonna find an epic planet or moon. I don't know. Here's a bunch ready to go. Those are fun. Wow, that's sick. Hot on the trail of alien moons. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to right click that, copy image, minimize, edit, paste. Now we have all these moons. I just moved it up in size a little bit with my move tool. So, boys and girls, if we wanted to take one of these moons, let's take like this one right here. I'm using my elliptical marquee tool. I'm doing some fancy stuff with my fingers right now. I'm pressing Shift and the space bar at the same time, and the left button on my mouse. Let me do that again. Pressing Shift to get a perfect circle. I'm going to press spacebar to move that circle around, and I'm still holding all of them. I'm letting go of spacebar because I want to make the circle a little bigger. And at the same time, I'm doing all that, pressing my left button on my mouse. Now I'm letting go. I'm going to copy paste by pressing Command C, Command V. And or you can go to Edit, Copy, Paste. What that did, unbeknownst to us, is it made a planet. Planet on its own layer. And now I have a planet. Okay, so you have a planet. And I just hit Enter to lock it in. Let's get another couple planets. Let's take this one right here. Again, Shift to get a perfect circle. Drag open that elliptical marquee tool. If I want to move this around, I can at the same time press spacebar. Okay. If I like where that's at, I can press Command C, Command V, and boom. Planet 2 arrives. Okay, so there's Planet 2. I don't know where that's going to be or what size or what. Let's get one more just for fun and giggles. Let's take this beat up one. No, let's take this textured one. So I'm going to take my elliptical marquee tool, or I can just press M and it'll select it for me. M for marquee tool. And same thing, I'm going to grab this dude right here. Control C, Control V. And then turn the eye off there. Okay. Alright, let's pull this out. Did you know you could do that? Watch this. I can put it in here. I can just click on it and it'll kind of just go out like that. Or you can grab onto it and like pull it out as like its own window. So sometimes you want to do that for fun. Alright, so I'm holding. Did I name it? That's Planet 3. Planet 3. So I'm going to make Planet 3 like this big. Now here's the cool thing. I love this. You can take Planet 3 and mess with these up here and try all of them. Try all of them. And what it'll do is create different looks and such and whatnot have you. And very radical, totally cool stuff. Okay, so I like the way color dodge is looking. That's looking sweet. Okay, so there's color dodge. I got a color dodge on that. And maybe it's, heck, maybe it's like a sunset, you know? I don't know, maybe in the sky is a little better. Oh, it's so hard to decide. So you got that, but maybe that's a little too bright. So I can go to Planet 3 here and knock the opacity down. So the opacity's knocked down a bit. And that looks a little better. Do I like color dodge? Lighten, overlay, soft light. Let's take a look at soft light, hard light. Multiply. Okay, so what did we decide we wanted? Color dodge. I don't know, screen looks pretty good there too though. Let's try screen. Okay, so then for our other planets you can kind of do the same thing. So this might be where you want to use the auto select. So you can go to auto select. Now I can just select on that planet. And let's do something like that. We'll overlay. Hard light. And you can mess with the opacity on this one as well. And this is fun, you just gotta mess with it. Okay, so same with this. I'm gonna tell it, I want it to be in front though. And it will be it should be over here. I don't know. So it's a tough call. Okay, so we can figure this out. Soft lights. Let's see what looks good on here. Screen. Yeah, maybe it'll be behind everything. Okay, so I can either do a mask or I can just erase the part I don't want people to see. Let's do a mask to show you guys how to do that. So I can create a mask, and anything that's black, I'm going to take the paintbrush tool and select like black here. Where's black? That's kind of black, isn't it? Black. Anything that is black that I painted, it'll temporarily disable it. I can always bring it back too. So that's how a mask works, the masking. Okay, so we got a couple planets. Let's do let's get a city in there. Let's see, where are we at here? I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll get another video going, and I'll show you a lot more. Okay? Don't go away. You're going to come right back, and we're going to go through more of this demo on how to create a Photoshop Photobash.